Hi and welcome. You know, too often value chain development is treated only as a tech project. We invest in integrations, APIs, platforms and so on, but today we want to shift the spotlight where the actual transformation happens, and it happens between the people. People make the decisions, they build the trust, and they actually define how the collaboration works or doesn't. My name is Elisa Suvanto, and over the next 20 minutes, we will discuss about collaboration through the value chain. And what we mean is the people, we mean the ways of working together. With me is Satu Hulkkonen from GS1 Finland, and together with Satu, we will break this topic down in a really hands-on and relevant and meaningful way. And we have also a case, real learnings about this. Because last year we did together this kind of EU deforestation regulation project, and we learned a lot about the collaboration, not only in the companies, but also between the companies. So, are you ready, Satu?
Yes, absolutely ready, and very happy to be here today. I think this topic is very important and also very relevant to many companies today. And I think we have some very interesting and insightful learnings that we can share with the audience today. I work as a network manager at GS1 Finland, and my role is to bring the members of the food chain together and really to help the companies to transform to a digitalized company and digitalized value chain. Our focus is very much in our program Food Data Finland is on collaboration and facilitation, so that's a big topic in our program. And the project that Elisa mentioned just now, the EUDR project last year, it was the most important thing there was to really find a common understanding of the regulation and create common processes and common ways of working, how to solve the regulation. And this cannot happen without collaboration. And we already had the existing network, and basically one company raised the flag and said that this is something that we should do together.
Mm-hmm. And before going any deeper in this subject, so let's start by introduction. So Satu, anyone who doesn't know GS1 beyond the barcodes, what do you actually do?
Yeah, the barcodes are just the visible tip of the iceberg. We are basically a global non-profit organization that develops these global data standards that help companies to identify, share, and capture data. So it's basically about creating a shared language of data. And now when you think about these new regulations like the EUDR, the common language is becoming more and more important. And it isn't about nice to have, it's becoming a requirement in the future.
Yes, and at Solita we also help organizations to collaborate within different touch points in the value chain and really create this kind of meaningful collaboration between different parties. And what we have seen in our project too, so the biggest blockers are not technical ones.
Exactly.
Because usually the technology is already there, systems and data, but in the end, how it works, it all comes to people. Exactly. Because how to build mutual understanding, habits of working together, and also the common goals.
Exactly.
And one of my enterprise architects said once that for him it's really straightforward to design technical solutions, architects, pictures, but when the people added in the picture, it makes it much more complex, and I think it's quite well said.
Exactly. And in our EUDR project, the thing that the companies needed, it wasn't about the tools. They really needed a common understanding of what is needed. And this was created in our networking sessions, in the co-working sessions. And it was very valuable for the companies to really understand the viewpoints of different companies and different functions within the company. So it was a very much focused on the people.
Yeah, and because without that kind of sort of people alignment, even the best systems can't deliver, for example, what regulations require nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah, even the best systems won't deliver if there isn't this kind of shared understanding and shared rules so to say. The best systems won't have a lasting effect even. You create something that maybe works for a while, but it won't have kind of like a bigger effects. And the companies have to manually edit the data if we don't have the common data models and common shared practices. And the data becomes a burden. It won't be a tool anymore for the companies, but a burden.
Yeah. Do you remember in our EUDR case where we actually saw how critical this collaboration is? Because the EUDR regulation requires this kind of really detailed patch-level traceability data. And companies currently have the systems and the data, but they have a different kind of data, different levels of data. And that's the situation where actually companies need to define the common approach for the regulation. Let's talk about what this actually means in practice. So how did it go in our project?
Yes, it was quite interesting because we brought in so many different, for example, functions and different parts of the chain. So basically we had the raw material production, we had the manufacturers, we had the retailers and logistics. So basically the whole chain working towards a shared goal. So it wasn't about the specific companies, but really about this chain point of view. And for this, we really need agreements that we have common goals and shared principles, and we want to define the common data models that the companies really need.
Yeah, and in this our project, we brought together 8 different companies from the food chain, all acting in different phases of the food chain, with own systems, with own business processes, with own ways of working, and still the regulation required, and actually still does, to work together for a common goal.
Exactly. And it was quite interesting because, do you remember, it was actually the first time these people met within the companies. So I think we really managed to bring in the right people to the workshops. And it was quite shocking actually to see that these people met for the first time. And they were from production and sourcing and procurement and ICT and supply chain, logistics and so on. So it was quite interesting to really see that this, when the people met and really started to delve deeper in the topic, and the technical part actually became much easier after the discussions.
Yeah, I remember so many aha moments. For example, when the first time this kind of a end-to-end material flow visualization were shown to people, and they actually saw that how their role is in this whole chain, and how they are affecting in their data, or how they create data to other people in the value chain. So it was really eye-opening.
Exactly. And I have to say that it's really about the people. People come first, and only then can the systems really support the things that are needed. The feedback from our sessions was very good. I think the functions, when they met, it was very, very eye-opening and very important for them. And I think also in the bigger workshops where we had different companies together, I think we really helped them to open their eyes to the different viewpoints, what the regulation requires. So it was very insightful for them as well. And I have to say that of course we do need the facilitation. Somebody has to keep the wheels turning. But also I would say that the leadership is you start by leadership. We had one company who raised the flag and said that this is something that we should do together, and the others followed. So it was a very big moment for us.
Yeah, it's important. But why the collaboration across companies is so critical currently? And not in the future, but actually right now. And based on our discussions, what we have got, we have noticed 3 different kind of reasons for that. One is competitiveness, another one is resilience, and then there is these regulations like EUDR.
Exactly. Well, the first one is really about the competition. We see that in the future the competition won't be between the companies. It will be between bigger value chains. as the demands grow, as the regulation requires, the traceability and really the end-to-end traceability will be a big part of business in the future. And this helps really the companies to optimize their own processes, their own businesses, and prove compliance and so on. And I think they can really better understand and develop their own business models and so on, and act more efficiently when needed. So I think it will be a bigger shift in a business mindset.
Yeah, and then there is this resilience. So when the things go wrong, and they do, this strong collaboration in the value chain allows businesses to sort of respond to those different challenges and problems, whether it's supply gaps or climate change is doing different weather conditions. And so if you know the people, you know who to talk, you know your upstream and downstream partners.
Exactly.
So it's much easier to know where the risks are.
Exactly.
And then this kind of knowledge really helps companies to react, plan and forecast better.
Exactly.
And then there are these regulations.
Regulation, it's a very significant shift in the, not only in food but in other businesses as well. The regulations like the EUDR demand completely different kind of capabilities, not only within the companies but also between companies. So basically end-to-end traceability, and that is something very it's a big shift. So collaboration is a must in the future. It's not only inside the companies but also between the companies. And you have to understand your own company better and not to work in silos like you maybe have used to working, and really to build the collaboration to other companies as well and in everyday life, not only in systems. And you have to really kind of like create these common data models, because otherwise it's a big mess if you don't have the common data models and common operating models. And you also need kind of like this facilitated collaboration, because otherwise it doesn't work so easily. Yeah,
and what we have seen related to the regulations is that even the EU decision makers may soften the requirements, and the discussion is all the time ongoing. Yeah. But still they are like big global companies. Yeah. They have own sustainability targets, and they are actually keeping those targets.
Exactly. And I think also the consumers are asking more and more information about the products and the companies as well. And I think some of the regulations like the eco-design and the digital product passport it will help consumers in that. But also, for example, the investors are requiring more information about for example, the emissions and so on from the companies. So you really have to kind of like build those capabilities as well.
Yeah. So collaboration is not anymore this kind of nice to have. So it's the only way forward.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's not about being responsible or nice anymore. It's sort of like it's about staying relevant in business, I think.
Being viable.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's like because different people have because world expect this kind of measurable, responsible, and actually world expect shared responsibilities.
Exactly.
Nowadays. So let's make this change a little bit more concrete, because this kind of network, collaboration, these words are quite many times mentioned in our discussion too. So what actually that means in practice?
Yeah.
Because for years, like mentioned, the businesses have operated in silos, in different departments doing their own things, and data and everything part of it. And for a while that has worked, but not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the world has changed, and the level of complexity and this kind of climate change, for example, regulation pressure is coming, and we know it, and it's demanding something different. And I would say that the different is this kind of network thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are network manager.
Yes.
So from your point of view, what this shift actually looks like?
Well, it's a big shift. You basically move from a data that is locked inside of in silos to a shared visibility if needed. And for example, in our EUDR case, the companies realize that this is something that we shouldn't and we cannot solve alone. This is something that we should really tackle together. And it's a big shift because companies realize that this is something that needs to be a bigger picture, not something that only benefits them, but also others are getting benefits from this collaboration. And you can also get a big impact from these kinds of projects because, for example, in our case, the global EDI message was updated based on the model that we created in the project. So there might be some bigger impacts as well.
Yeah. And exactly that. And I want to slow down here for a second because this is where the things either succeed or not. The shift is about mindset. Yeah. It's about different business mindset, shifting from tech-oriented thinking to people-first oriented thinking, and because collaboration is the core, but the technology should bring tools for that collaboration.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I think you change it by seeing the bigger picture. It's not only about the certain functions or certain companies, but really the bigger picture that is needed. And the people have to understand why does it matter, what is their part in the whole picture, and why do we have to kind of like do things differently, basically. And it takes dialogue, it takes collaboration, but I think in the end it can also bring big business opportunities for companies when they can really see this new mindset as well.
And that's the moment when the things start to happen and change, because it becomes more than just one project. It sort of comes down with this kind of current, this kind of business model, new kind of resilient business model.
Exactly.
So we are asked often how to make this happen. So we have found 3 different drivers for this. The first one is shared relevance, and then business safety, and common language and tools.
Yeah. The people have to really see that what's in it for me, what is my kind of like take on this, and how do I actually benefit from this as well as the others.
Yeah. Because the real collaboration means openness. So it have to be business safety. So you can speak up about the challenges, mistakes, and this kind of thing. And then after, when that is in place, then everything gets smoother.
Exactly.
And it's change management needed to sort of keep on wheels running.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need the shared language and tools. You know those standards.
Yes, exactly.
And they're already there, available and proven. Why not to use those, right?
Exactly. And also you need, as mentioned before, you really need a leadership, and you need kind of like this common, this manifesto that this is something that should be done together. And I think that the area of collaboration has to be defined, not to risk the competition law, because it's very important to every company. And basically you have to define that. And in our case, it's about shared efficiency, how to benefit the whole supply chain and the whole food chain as a whole, then the common competitive edge, and also sustainability, how to kind of like make these sustainability goals more tangible and more approachable when you do things together. Yeah. So that's very important as well. And also, as you mentioned, the common data models are extremely important. And as mentioned before, you really need the facilitator as well.
Yeah. So I think that was it. So thanks being with us today. Enjoy the rest of the summit, and remember, the way how we work together today will define the future.